Hi guys, I just wanted to make a quick update video about Spravato. If anyone has noticed, I haven't really made a Spravato update video in a while. I had started it, I think about 2 months ago now. I had started and I was trying to make weekly videos about it. Unfortunately, after my third appointment, my insurance just kind of randomly stopped approving it. So it's been a very long process to get it approved again. But I finally had another appointment today. So this is kind of like my Spravato week 1 part 2, because basically at this point I'm kind of starting the process over since it's been so long since I started. So before I give an update on how the appointment today went, I just wanted to take this time to talk a little bit about insurance, because something that I didn't know about insurance is that if they don't approve a certain treatment for you and they deny it, that's what they ended up doing for me. That decision's not final. And I didn't really realize this. I kind of just thought that after they denied it, that I was just like, great, well, now I'm going to have to figure out something else or figure out how to pay for it myself. And it's extremely expensive. But I called my insurance company a few times and talked to some different people there. And it was a very long and frustrating process. And I talked with my psychiatrist as well. And so something that your psychiatrist or doctors can do that I didn't know about until this is they can actually kind of fight the insurance company on their decision. So what happened for me is that my insurance company denied it because they said I wasn't having enough of a positive effect, which I thought that this was a little bit ridiculous because I had done the Spravato treatments 3 times. And after 3 times, like, isn't a good indicator of whether or not you're going to respond well to it. With Spravato, some people do experience like immediate relief, and usually it doesn't typically like last super long term, but like right away they notice a difference. I didn't have that, so I think that may have been part of it, but that's also not like completely uncommon. Some people, it takes a lot longer for the medication to work. So they couldn't really decide that I wasn't having a positive effect from the Spravato after I'd only had 3 treatments. And so what ended up happening was it took a lot of coordinating, but I was able to get my psychiatrist to call with a doctor from the insurance company who reviews the prior authorizations and decides whether or not they're going to be approved. So my psychiatrist and this doctor had a phone call where my doctor explained to him why I needed this medication, why it was helpful, what the long-term benefits are, and then any kind of short-term benefits that he noticed that may have not been as obvious to someone reviewing the case initially. So they had this conversation, and pretty much like right after this conversation, I was able to get it approved again. And they actually approved it for more time than they did initially. Initially, I had only had 1 month approved, and this time they approved 2 months. And then they said if there's some sort of positive effect after the first 2 months, that they'll likely approve another 6 months. So this is really great and a lot more than I got initially. So I just wanted to say that quickly, just so anyone who is, going through the process of trying to get different treatments, different medications approved through insurance, it can be extremely frustrating. But if you have a good doctor, a good psychiatrist, they should be able to speak to your insurance company on your behalf and help get those things approved for you. I wish I had known this beforehand, because I think I would have been able to maybe arrange this a little bit sooner so I didn't have to go like a little over a month without treatments. But I'm telling you guys now, so hopefully if anyone's in a similar situation, hopefully this can be helpful and you can get your doctors to talk to your insurance company and get medications and treatments approved for you. So I just want to give a quick update too about how the appointment went today. It wasn't really anything, there's not really like anything too exciting to report. I guess it was pretty typical to how it had been. I think because it had been so long, I don't know if I just kind of forgot what it felt like or if it actually felt a little bit stronger, but I was really, really dizzy this time after I took the 3 doses. The first time I took Spravato, I didn't really like experience the dizziness and stuff right away. This today I did. Kind of got that. I think after I took the 2nd dose is when I started to notice I was really dizzy, and it was really hard to walk, which was always kind of frustrating because the way like I have to go like from this like area where I'm sitting and waiting to then like into my psychiatrist's office like every once in a while so he can check my blood pressure, my heart rate, and just kind of see how things are going. And the walk to and from his office was like, I felt like I was taking tiny little steps and like walking so slowly, but I really didn't want to fall because there were a lot of people in the waiting room and I really didn't want to embarrass myself with that. But I didn't fall. And this time the feeling lasted maybe about an hour, which I feel like typically before it was lasting like 30 to 45 minutes. But I kind of felt that sort of high feeling that you get from the Spravato for about an hour, which I'm not a fan of it. I don't like the way it feels. I know a lot of people think it's fun. I do not think it's fun. I've never thought it's fun. But it wasn't terrible. Didn't really notice much of a change in my mood. It made me extremely tired. That was the biggest thing that I noticed is once like I had kind of come down from the dizzy, dissociated feeling, like I was just exhausted and I really wanted to sleep. So I'm hoping this means I will sleep well tonight because sleep has been a bit of an issue for me lately. So hopefully this will help. But yeah, there's not really much else. Kind of just the typical things. Like I felt like my body was weird proportions. Like there were people walking in and out of the waiting room, and it was like very confusing to me because I could like see them walking in, but I couldn't like focus to look at them and see who they were. So that's always like really stressful for me. I don't like being in a room with other people that I can't like look at or focus and like kind of see what's going on. So it was a little bit weird, a little bit stressful, but overall, it was pretty easy. I didn't have a panic attack like I did a couple times ago when I went, so I'm really glad about that. And now I am back to doing 2 appointments a week. So I have another one this week. And I will probably update again next week just to see how things are going. So right now, kind of the same. My mood hasn't really changed much. But it's only been kind of 1 appointment since we've restarted. So hopefully I'll get to see some improvement soon. One of the things that I did notice looking back on it was I think kind of in the moment, I didn't notice Spravato making any improvements to my mood. But once I had gone a couple weeks without it, because of the insurance issues, I really noticed that it was actually making a little bit of a difference because I could compare it to how I was now feeling worse than I was when I was starting to do Spravato more regularly. So that gives me a little bit of hope that this is going to help me out a little bit, and I will keep you guys updated. And as always, if you have any questions about Spravato, anything about how to get your insurance company to approve things, feel free to leave those questions in the comments, and I will answer them as best as I can, and I will give you all another update on Spravato next week. I'm really excited that I finally get to be starting again. And thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day.